Hi and welcome. So today I want to discuss the 3 reasons why you need to maintain your spiritual health. So for those who don't know me, hello, I'm Erica Trimnell. I'm also called the Mindful Mistress. I consult with organizations on trauma-informed mindfulness practices, as well as coach spiritually filled individuals who feel stuck both physically and energetically, disconnected, and people who are just struggling to exist. You see, I help them get their life back and get back that childlike passion for their life by assisting them in building the capacity for their curiosity, not only for themselves, but the world around us. And that generally results in living authentically, loving intently, and moving purposefully. So the problem is spirituality is largely an undeveloped skill. Think of it like a muscle that most of us don't work out enough to maintain our overall health and well-being. So you might be thinking, okay, well, why is this a problem? Well, there could be many reasons why we don't practice spiritual care consistently. One of the main reasons is that society has really taught us to focus and value on physical health over both mental and spiritual health. So perhaps you stopped attending church, the temple, a mosque because you felt judged. You felt like you couldn't be authentically who you were and be accepted for that. Maybe you tried meditation and you got upset because your mind kept wandering and you couldn't sit still. Or you were overwhelmed by the numerous variations and practices when it comes to meditation. But just so you know, meditation is my jam. So if ever I can help you and be a guide or teacher to help you figure out what form, what practice works best for you, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I would gladly help. So another spiritual practice, yoga. Maybe you tried yoga, and if you're someone like me, you don't have rail thin thighs. And there are some teachers out there who really aren't sensitive to people who aren't rail thin or have other needs. I remember a time when I went to this yoga studio and I didn't realize it was going to be hot yoga. I literally just got my hair pressed. So I was a little apprehensive of doing some of the moves, and the teacher wasn't sensitive to my needs. She didn't understand that I'm a Black woman and hair hair is a big deal, especially when you've just gotten it straightened. And so something like that could easily cause you not to go back to yoga, not practice it at all. Or perhaps you're in a situation where you joined a Bible study but found yourself making excuses for why you didn't want to go. You also could be one of those types who feels really stupid saying affirmations to yourself, saying them in the mirror, writing them down, recording them, because you feel like what you were saying is not true. You know, we can also make the connection with our current spiritual practices with how we were raised, how we were taught as children. So whether you grew up in a household where spirituality or religion was a once a week, twice a week thing, now you've carried on these same patterns. So that affects your spiritual health. Then you might have not really grasped the highly complex or abstract concepts taught in spirituality or religion. And so you weren't able to connect its importance with meaning in your life. And then perhaps we have a segment of the population that experienced church hurt or church trauma. And so you are completely turned off to developing your spiritual muscle in any way, shape, or form. So if that is you, if anything I said has resonated, please put a yes. an ashe, an amen in the comments. Know that your upbringing and your environment definitely shapes the stories that you tell yourself. And especially when it comes to the stories you tell yourself about maintaining spiritual health, this could be one of the reasons. And you know what? It's okay. It is okay. And please forgive yourself for not understanding the importance of maintaining spiritual health. So, the first reason why maintaining spiritual health is so important is that spirituality actually influences all aspects of our life. So, I want you to think about that, right? Spirituality is extremely evident in times of a storm, right? When we all have storms in life, during trauma, during a stressful life event, illness, suffering, suffering from grief, and definitely during our last days here on earth. Yet, like I mentioned before, majority of society has taught you to not prioritize your spiritual health like we prioritize, being in shape and looking a certain way. Or mental health has now gotten an upsurge, especially with the pandemic. We've seen crazy numbers with mental health. So now we're jumping on the bandwagon. Okay, now you need to look after your mental health. Well, I'm ringing the bell for spiritual health. I am telling you that your spiritual health is so important. It is so essential to maintaining overall health, right? Because spirituality intersects both physical and mental health. So the second reason why you should maintain your spiritual health is that by acknowledging and addressing your spiritual needs with spiritual care, you can alleviate your suffering. You can increase your sense of overall well being. You can enhance your ability to adapt and cope when life sends you those storms, when you're going through adversity. And if you find that you're lacking in any of these areas, please, 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 this is what I do. Feel free to connect with me, and I'm happy to find a set of practices to help you and that work with you and for you. So please, please, please feel free to reach out. Like I said, this is exactly what I do. I love helping people just like you build that spiritual muscle. So, lastly, by maintaining your spiritual health, you can increase your ability to connect to all beings. We all know how important connection is. And so in doing so, in your ability to be able to connect, you're able to move beyond your fears and your limiting beliefs, which could be holding you back from the life that you deserve. So think about that. Your lack of connection, your lack in building your spiritual muscle directly has an impact on the life that you are currently living today. So just imagine, close your eyes with me, and imagine moving forward in life, feeling supported with nothing to prove. You're not afraid to lose, and you are no longer clinging to the people and the things in your life that do not feed your spirit. Well, that is the life that I'm talking about when you do maintain your spiritual health, when you do have a spiritual care practice consistently in your life. Now, if you do want support on how to build and consistently maintain spiritual care in your everyday life, and you want to have agencies, right, when storms come, increase your sense of well-being, and bring a sense of peace and inner strength. But most importantly, increase your ability to connect to all of the people and things in your life that truly matter. then I suggest you reach out to me. Send me a DM, send me a private message, comment in the chat or the comments below, and we can schedule a time to talk and connect. One of the last things is I will also, with this posting, I'll put a link to my mindfulness journal and planner. This is something that can help you get organized and stay consistent with your spiritual care. If you were anything like me, my problem was that I wasn't organized. I would go through a storm and forget, like, yeah, I do know how to make affirmations, or I do have the power of my crystals, or I can pray right now, or I do have a community. Because when we're in the middle of a storm, we aren't thinking straight. We aren't thinking clearly. We're consumed with the thoughts of the storm and what we're going through and the emotions we're feeling. So to be able to have a planner, a journal, where you've got all your tools in one place, constantly reminding you. So then when you reach your next storm, you've got the tools. You've got it so it doesn't last, so it doesn't take over your life, so you don't have to suffer that long this time, right? You learn whatever it is you're meant to learn from the storm, because I truly believe that every storm has a lesson in it for us. But you've got your tools, so you are now empowered. You now have agency. You now can take back your life. So the mindfulness planner can help you do that, and just on a daily basis, keep you accountable for maintaining your spiritual health. Well, that is all I have today. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay tuned. Next week, I'm going to talk about, and I'm super excited about this, I'm going to talk about healing versus curing. Do you really want to become whole, or are you just looking for a cure? Again, my name is Erica Trimnell. I am the Mindful Mistress. Feel free to connect with me on any social media.